Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Greeting to you all. This webinar is presented to you by Smart Podium. Today, we will be addressing the history and the importance of the medication safety and its basics. As one of many Smart Podium upcoming scheduled programs, this webinar is accredited from the National Association for Healthcare Quality. We would like to welcome with us today Dr. Iman Abu Zaid. She is a medication safety drug expert, doctor of clinical pharmacy and clinical pharmacy diploma from Alexandria University. Has a long related experience working for the Ministry of Health and trainer and consultant. Before we start, I would like to remind you that please ask your question in the Q&A answer session. It will be down below the page you are in. And we will be back to them at the end of the session. I am Ahmed and I'll be your moderator for the day. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Iman.
Walaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Ahlan, Mr. Ahmed. Thanks for introducing me. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First thing, I want to thank you all for your presence with us today. Also, I want to show my gratefulness to every one of you as a healthcare professional for doing your best and your duty in fighting in COVID-19 battle, taking care of people and society. Thank you for you all. I don't want to forget, thank your families and friends for supporting you and making you able to do your job and stand still in this fight. I'm very glad to discuss this highly important subject, medication safety basics, today with you. What we mean by medication safety, how safe is our practice? How do we make sure patients we work with are safe? How can we prevent a serious incident occurring? All of this, or the key answer, is sticking to basic principles of good practice, which is meant by medication safety basics. This picture for a jumbo jet, I want by this picture to make a remarkable reminder about the importance of our topic today. Imagine, all of you imagine, if I came to you and said, last day news, there was a crashing of this aeroplane. What would you feel? What would you think? All of us will think about deaths and victims, impact on the families. Okay. What if I told you that I correct my speech and told you that it was two planes collision or crashing of two planes? It's a disaster or crisis, I think. Huge number of victims and huge number of deaths. All of us will feel sorry and shocked. Meanwhile, I came to you and told you that while I search for the crash on network, I shocked by country X has 2 crashes per week for a year long. What do you feel? And what? Sorry. What do you feel now? I think all of you want me to stop talking and stop this horrible imagination, but it is not an imaginary scenario. This scenario is present and shocked us in 1999 by report IOH, International Institution of Medicine. The report faced us with facts 44,000 to 98,000 preventable deaths per year from medical errors. This is similar to the imagination we just make, crashing 2 planes a week all year long. This is the impact of medication safety on our practice to save all that lives. Our agenda, allow me to discuss our agenda today. We will start with course orientation, then go to the learning objectives to know what we should learn and apply in our practice. Target audience who are concerned about this subject. History of medication safety when it arises and where we are puts our feet now. Medication safety programs. We will discuss a success story in Saudi Arabia for their medication safety program. Course topics and concepts. It is the last stop of our journey. Let's begin with course orientation. Our course, Medication Safety Basics, will include 24 important basics of medication safety discussed along 12 sessions. Some of these basics look alike, sound alike medication, known as LASA, prohibited abbreviations, high alert medication, adverse drug reaction, medication errors, reconciliation and counseling, medication safety committee, black box medications, hazardous medication, drug-drug interaction, scintille event, and allergies. Also, role of healthcare providers in medication safety, drug-food interaction, risk evaluation and mitigation strategies, therapeutic drug monitoring, medication disposable. I think all these topics we have touched in our practice. This is the course schedule. We are here today in 10th of August. It is a free orientation session, introduction to medication safety. And as we respect your time, this orientation session will provide you with 1 hour, credit hour, continuing education credit hour. Beginning from 7th of September to 13th of October, our 12 sessions will be discussed. Each session will include 2 large topics. We promise to be a very, very heavy meal, and it will last for 2 hours, about 2 hours. Each session will provide you with 2 credit hours. The total hours will be 24, and this is a very good offer for CPHQ professionals seeking for recertification. Now, allow me to ask you light questions. All of us know about medication errors. But what about, medication errors must be reported. What about near miss? Should be reported? Can I ask you to answer, please? In our course, we will discuss why this near miss should be reported or not. Only harmful adverse drug reaction should be analyzed. Yes or no? Root cause analysis done for every medication error. Thank you for your response. Now we will talk about a very important institution. It is National Association for Health Quality. It is the only organization dedicated to healthcare quality professionals, define the standards of excellence, and oh, thank you for your results. My respects. Thank you. And this institution makes sure of equipping professionals and organization to these standards of excellence. History of National Association of Healthcare Quality was founded in 1976 and remained the only organization dedicated to healthcare quality professionals. Our history and successes are attributed to the great member and volunteers who work to further our mission. This is the institution which accredited our course. Courses matrix. Today, lecture is introduction. It is one lecture. It will provide you with one CPHQ continuing educating credit, and that's for free. The full course will be 12 sessions, starting from 7th of September to 13th of October. 24 will provide you with 24 CPHQ continuing education credit. The whole 12 sessions will give you this score, accredited certificate. You will get accredited certificate. Trainees with us will get program manual and training sessions and workshop to apply what we learned. And we will discuss cases as simulation to the scenarios may happen to you in your practice to maximize the benefit of the course. Medication Safety Basic course. This program has been approved by the National Association for Healthcare Quality for a maximum of 24 CPHQ continuing education credit for this event. And our lecture, our orientation lecture will provide you with one CPHQ continuing education credit. Now, we will move to learning objectives. Learning objectives of this course is to know the basic information about medication safety and to understand the importance of medication errors and adverse drug reaction reporting in patient safety, to identify the updating information of LASA, look-alike, sound-alike drugs, and high alert medication, to recognize the role of healthcare professionals in medication safety, and to realize the importance of the medication safety in accreditation. Target audience: all healthcare providers involved in the medication use process, like physicians, dentists, pharmacists, nurses, respiratory therapists, etc. This course for you if you are healthcare provider involved in medication use process, CPHQ professional, and you are seeking for recertification, newly graduate wants to know the basics of medication safety. If you are hospital pharmacist, clinical pharmacist, community pharmacist, quality professional, your organization preparing for accreditation, you will be you will do a valuable effect. You plan to initiate a medication safety program. We will take this step by step with you, make your job easy. You interested to be a medication safety officer who is the maestro of medication safety in any institution? Counseling program, if you are interested in initiating a counseling program. History of medication safety. To err is human. For building a safer health system. To admit that err is a human. On December 1999, the Institution of Medicine released the landmark report To Err is Human, Building a Safer Health System. First thing is do no harm. As all we know that medication is a double-faced coin. One of the facts we mentioned before at the beginning of this lecture, 44,000, 98,000 preventable deaths per year from medical errors. This is similar to crashing of 2 planes a week all year long. To imagine the loss and number of deaths. More people die, this is another fact in this report, more people die in a given year as a result of medical error than motor vehicle accidents. Motor vehicle accidents, breast cancer, or HIV. The report has drawn strong responses from Congress, the White House, and health professional organizations. The medical error issue is anticipated to receive a lot of attention by the federal government and Congress in the year of 2000. Okay. And as international response, International Medication Safety Network is accomplished. The first meeting of the International Network of Safe Medication Practice Centers was held in Spain at November of 2006. They committed to prevent medication errors and to contribute to safer care. The participants pledged to work together to promote achievement of these essential objectives, to encourage and further the development of safe medication practice centers in all countries and to facilitate the cooperation amongst them. Medication safety program, we will talk about success story here in Saudi Arabia. المركز السعودي لسلامة الدواء. I'm proud to talk about Saudi Medication Safety Center. It was developed at 2008 to determine the risks in using the drugs. The medication safety program is part of the Saudi Medication Safety Center. The aim is to spread the medication safety information, educate the society and consumers about the safe drug practice, works with the organization authorities to avoid mistakes. By some strategies implanted in Ministry of Health in Saudi Arabia, National Medication Safety Program at the Ministry of Health in Saudi Arabia, strategies and concepts, formulating of Medication Safety Program Committee, updating of medication error system, updating of adverse drug reaction system and the quality reporting system, basic education courses of medication safety as it is very or highly important topic, medication safety training center self-assessment, medication safety officer in hospitals. Other strategies, human resources of medication safety program, assessment of medication safety program in hospitals, awareness material of medication safety program, etc. Medication safety program goals are to enhance the knowledge of the healthcare professionals about medication safety and to promote safe medication practice and to promote just culture for reporting and managing medication error. Now, we finally reaches our last stop in our journey, and we will talk about some topics. As example, for some topics we will deal with in our course. First one is medication process. We will discuss medication process by all its steps, from prescribing to dispensing, administration and monitoring, and how to establish medication safety basics in all steps to avoid or to prevent errors or medical errors sources. Second thing, we will discuss rights, right time, right patient, right drug, right dose, right routes, what we mean by these rights and how to establish the rights. We will talk about hierarchy, National Medication Safety Program, medication safety program in different institutions and healthcare centers, medication safety committee, who are the members of this committee, what is the responsibilities of this committee, and the medication safety maestro, who is medication safety officer. We will discuss prohibited abbreviations, symbols, and those designations. What are the prohibited abbreviations? Why they are prohibited? And what are their effects on the medication safety? Like this abbreviation as example. Adverse drug reaction, its reporting and understanding the process of identifying, documenting, and reporting of adverse drug reactions. Understand the importance of reporting adverse drug reactions. NARANJO scale, we will discuss this as a tool to estimate the adverse drug reaction probability. There are 10 questions answered by yes or no, or I don't know. The total score will give us good idea about the adverse drug reaction, and we will discuss another scale used to assess severity of adverse drug reaction. Also, we are interested in discussing counseling with you, how to initiate an effective counseling program. Ask your patient if they understand their medication. What are the essential safety requirements? Drug-drug interaction, consent, when to take consent, off-label medication. Anyone know what we mean by off-label medication? Off-label medication, the use of pharmaceutical drug in unapproved indication, age group, unapproved dosage form, unapproved route. What are the benefits and risks of off-label medication? As example, now, chloroquine, anti-malarial drugs. It was approved to use as anti-malarial drugs, but in the last crisis of COVID-19, we used it in the protocol of COVID-19. Medication error and near miss. What we mean by near miss? Which one is reported? Should we report near miss although no harm reaches the patient, and why? Causes, categories of the error, and root cause analysis. Now, just culture, this is important in our practice. Just culture, how to create a just culture, non-punitive environment to report medication error. The question we will ask is why the error happened, not whom or who did this. Just culture, briefly, 3 kinds of behavior should be justified if it is human error behavior, or this error due to risk behavior or reckless behavior. And after that, we will manage our response if we counsel or coach or punish. High alert double check. identifying high alert medications, how to deal with, in dispensing, in prescribing, in monitoring, classifications and the categories of high alert medication, precautions, recommendations. Swiss cheese model. It is developed by Professor James Reason, model to visualize how patient harm happened. This Swiss cheese model not particularly to the healthcare, but it can be applied to our system, our healthcare system, and applied to agriculture. Okay, here in our era, in complex medication care system, patient is protected by several protection factors. We call them defenses, barriers, and safeguards. Each slice in this picture as a resistance towards danger or risk to come and happen. Okay? But sometimes barriers has holes arising from failure or latent conditions. We will discuss all of that, and we will ask what are the protective factors we can do. Lookalike, sound-alike medication or LASA. What are lookalike, sound-alike medications? Definition. Strategies to prevent this LASA medication error. The role of every healthcare provider. Every one of us has a role to play in medication safety, even the consumer or the patient. So this course, as we see for you, if you are healthcare provider involved in medication use process, if you are CPHQ professional seeking for recertification, newly graduate want to know the basics of medication safety, hospital, clinical pharmacist, community pharmacist, quality professional, and if you are or if your organization preparing for accreditation, cornerstone of accreditation is medication safety. You will be an additive value in their plans. If you plan to initiate a medication safety program, we will help you with steps and procedures and the reporter. Interested to patient safety officer counseling program if you want to or wish to initiate counseling program. Thank you for all, and now I'm waiting for your questions.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for attending. It was a really like great and short and sweet presentation from you, Dr. Iman.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you
Yeah.
for all of the attendees.
Yeah, if there are any like questions, we'll be soon addressing all the questions. But before that, there are some like notes I would like to share with you. Many people are asking about the certification. Yes, there is a certificate on this program. It will be in your email within 3 days. We will send it to the email you registered using in this webinar. As well, some of you ask about the presentation and the document that Dr. Iman presented. Yes, I will check the presentation. I'll surely we will attach it or link it to the same email of the certificate. Thank you very much. Now, let's go to the, okay, it seems there is like, people are asking about the how many hours in this lecture. Yeah, this lecture will have 1 hour from the National Association for Healthcare Quality. Well, I think that the 1 hour it will take like through 1 month, I guess, to be registered in your account there in the National Healthcare, I mean the National Association for Healthcare Quality. Um, okay. Okay, there are no much info like questions for today. That's good. Also, if there's any question come to your mind or there are any inquiries you would like to ask us, feel free to send in our email, mbs, it's in front of you on the screen, mbs@smartpodium.sa. Send us any email regarding the upcoming programs about this webinar or about the topics that we present. Thank you very much, and I would like to ask Dr. Iman to close the session.
Okay. Thank you for you all.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, and we really thank you for the patient. And we know that our presentation is short, but sometimes our presentation goes for 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes for more than 2 hours. So be patient, and don't forget to join our Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, even Instagram to get our new upcoming events and webinars. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.